Hey, this is Spark of Madness. I'm Matt. This is Ben. This is Aaron. It's been always knew, you're the harpo of the group.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a little while. Last time we did Starship Troopers.
Right.
Kind of completed our Paul Verhoeven.
Paul Verhoeven.
Yeah. Series. In which case, like just a couple days ago, remember when we found out that he did Showgirls?
Yeah.
That was interesting realization.
Yeah, it's an odd choice.
Yeah.
Maybe he really liked the script.
Yeah, he was really parsing out the dialogue.
Wasn't Jesse Spano in that?
Yeah, I don't know her real name, but
Saved
yes.
by the Bell.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I'm so scared. Do you remember that episode?
I do. That was the drug episode, right?
It was, yeah. Jesse was on sleeping pills.
God, that show was kind of okay.
Yeah. Zach.
Oh, no, we
really
don't get to see what you're
find
drinking.
that clip. I'm really excited to put that clip in here.
Have you ever seen it?
I know the what you're referencing. I never watched Saved by the Bell though.
Oh.
I never
You didn't miss a whole lot.
I watched that and the college years, and I tried to watch the new class, and it wasn't as good.
There was a new class?
Yeah, Dustin Diamond was in it as like a teacher or something.
Well, everybody knows he wasn't doing anything.
But Mr. Belding was still in it as the principal.
Well, thank God.
This is a side note, but Saved by the Bell, first season was not even called Saved by the Bell. It had Haley Mills in it, and she was going to be the star power, and it was called Good Morning, Miss Bliss.
I do remember that.
Yes, and it took place in Indiana.
Ha!
And the next season was back in Los Angeles.
Everybody walks in the front door. Here's your corn. Here's your corn.
Yeah. So the first season wasn't even Saved by the Bell.
God, I remember
I
that.
didn't know that. Interesting.
Yeah. So Duck Soup.
I'm actually really excited because I was going to segue by saying like I didn't watch Saved by the Bell, but I watched cartoons constantly, of which I didn't. So now that HBO Max came out, I went and watched like a bunch of Charlie Chaplin movies, which I hadn't seen before. And I didn't realize, I realized that, Looney Tunes especially borrowed from past, from Charlie, the silent comedians. But I didn't realize the extent of it until I watched those. And then rewatching Duck Soup, which is the movie we're doing today, I'm just, the scene at the mirror is like just an obvious callback.
So yep, you're even beginning to look like a rabbit.
Why, that's ridiculous. I don't look one witty bit like a wabbit.
No? Well, get a load of yourself in the mirror, long ears.
Dr. Kill Patient! Dr. Kill Patient!
Now you're seeing the connections.
Of your topic, I just realized too. So obviously Bugs Bunny is Groucho Marx.
Obviously,
basically.
yeah.
But I didn't realize this, and that way it makes sense until I really had the revelation now with the whole routine of them being zany around frustrating the straight person.
Yeah,
that's the Warner Brothers, the Warners from Animaniacs. That's their whole bit.
Yeah,
that's straight from Marx Brothers
and the Beatles, but that's beside the point.
And the
Beatles, yes. But I mean, their whole shtick of frustrating, people is the best.
If that's too soon, you can leave in a minute and a half. I can't do a Beatles accent.
So Duck Soup, this is I was kind of hoping, Ben, your brother would come on, because I know this movie are the Marx Brothers just big across your entire family or just with your brother?
Oh, my whole family grew up on it.
I would have to say the same.
This is the only Marx Brothers movie I've seen, Duck Soup.
So what's funny is I was telling my brother I had to watch it again because I know everything in it, but all my Marx Brothers knowledge kind of run together.
Yeah.
I don't look at them as one. This is considered the best movie, but even that, it's like there's so many good bits in all of them except for Room Service. That's the worst one.
Ugh.
Well, there's a reason for it. They did a social experiment with that one. It was funny, and Lucille Ball was in that one.
What was the social experiment?
Well, it's not really a social experiment. It was just like first of all, they did it for money, and second of all, they got so tired of studio influence. They said, "Okay, fine, we'll do everything what you say. We won't do any of our stuff." You know what I mean? Basically, and it was so phoned in. It was hilarious. You know what I mean? It was bad. It's like you can't watch it, but like it was for them like to screw the studio. So like leave us and let us do our stuff.
It was Marx Brothers Infinity War. We know.
Yeah. But Lucille Ball, before she was a model first, was in that one.
Marx Brothers assemble.
Assemble.
And then he just cuts off his hair or something. Holds his leg up.
Aaron, you know what you should do? Aaron, you should make, or we could hire someone to make a 3D version of the vaudeville cinematic universe. Marx Brothers, Laurel and Hardy,
Chaplin, Lloyd,
Stooges, all formed together.
Which is funny because I think around the same time
they fight Thanos.
What was the fact we were talking about? It was around the same time as Duck Soup that Lucille Ball was in a Stooges. I think it was Three Little Pigskins.
Interesting.
Yeah, she was doing a lot. That was
so
1936.
I'm interested more and maybe as we go through Duck Soup specifically, I'd be curious how this movie is the same or is different in some ways, because as you mentioned, I think this one is the most highly regarded, at least. But how because I could understand like all their movies have kind of the same joke writing.
Yeah, they all have the same skeleton, really, and that's okay.
So what I understand is, and I wish I would have watched all of them before this. I really regret that.
That'll take a while, man.
I know.
That's like 12 movies.
But from what I understand,
something?
I could be wrong. I could be misrepresenting, and I can pull up IMDb too. But from what I understand, is their first, like Horse Feathers, Animal Crackers, the early ones were the films weren't just a cinematic version of their vaudeville act.
That's what I've always heard.
And this is the first one that's written specifically for film. And that's why this one has like jam-packed with crazy stuff.
And it shows with all the for the time, nice camera work and all that. Lots of zooms and stuff.
Did you, so in just, I should have looked this up in advance, but because you might have it up, Ben. My first question is, did they start off did they ever do silent movies? Let me just start there. Did they ever do a silent movie? Or did they start with talking?
Not that I know of.
They started in vaudeville from what I understand. And I'll pull up the Wikipedia here in a minute. But
because
I think they started out as a musical group.
Yeah, pretty much. They really like their singing.
Because like this movie, I mean, I feel like he's especially because of the year it came out, 1933.
Yes. And
the jazz singer was 27. I wrote these down because I was curious about the timing of it. Because I feel like a movie like this just like the amount of jokes you could make. Some of it depends on some of the physical comedy. The mirror scene we're referencing is that like I think they even cut the music for that whole sequence.
Yeah, it's strangely silent.
So it kind of harkens back to all the Harpo stuff kind of does, but the Groucho is like the anti-silent movie star for like the start of these talkies coming out. I don't know. The second they invented or they came up with a way to add sound like that, I feel it opened up everything for him because it's just joke after joke after joke.
Groucho's joke writing is very much like George Lucas's special edition editing. Everything is so dense.
All right, meeting's call to order.
Your Excellency, here's the Treasury Department's report.
I hope you find it clear.
Clear? Why, a 4-year-old child could understand this report. Run out and find me a 4-year-old child. I can't make head or tail out of it. And now, members of the cabinet, we'll take up old business.
I wish to discuss the tariff.
Sit down, that's new business. No old business? Very well. And we'll take up new business.
Now about that tariff.
Too late, that's old business already. Sit down.
It never stops.
Well, it's like Rodney Dangerfield.
Yeah.
So this is interesting. So they started out as a musical group. One evening, I'm going to read this, the Wikipedia. One evening in 1912, a performance at the Opera House in Texas was interrupted by shouts from outside about a runaway mule. The audience hurried out to see what was happening. Groucho was angered by the interruptions, and when the audience returned, he made snide comments at their expense, including I can't even pronounce that. Full of roaches is the name of the town, and the jackass is the flower of Texas. Instead of becoming angry, the audience laughed. The family then realized its potential as a comedic troupe.
Okay.
So that's interesting. That's 1912.
Yeah, they all had their little musical bents to them. Obviously, Harpo likes the harp.
The act slowly evolved from singing with comedy to comedy with music. The brothers sketch. Yeah, so that's interesting.
Now that I think about it, Duck Soup is one of the only ones that doesn't have Harpo explicitly sitting down to play harp. He like hits the piano strings, but that's it. In almost all the others I can remember, he has a scene dedicated to him playing harp.
So actually, the on-stage personality of Groucho, Chico, and Harpo were said to have based on their actual traits. Zeppo, on the other hand, was considered the funniest brother off stage, despite his straight stage roles. So he's probably a little more dirty. He was the youngest and had to grow up watching his brothers, so he could fill in for.
He became a millionaire, right? Because he
was like
stepped away and became an engineer or something.
Yeah, I think he managed them too.
Yeah.
Wow.
His role in this movie is kind of, especially at the end, he kind of is just with him, which is kind of cool. I liked how they had the four together, but his role in the movie was kind of.
Think of it like this.
He's just like an assistant. They didn't give him like a big part.
He was always the straight man. He was always a love interest of the straight man, and then he just said, "I don't want to do this," and they always had different actors that played the straight man and the other one, so they still had the same.
Well, where his straight mannery is very good, especially in this movie, is during the the big going to war musical number, where everybody's acting completely ridiculous, and he goes along with it. He's happy about it.
I laughed so hard because and you can see where Monty Python stole it is when they were playing on the helmets.
Yeah.
And they hit the guy. Like, that was Monty Python literally stole that.
Yeah, but did Monty Python cut their tassels off? I don't think so. Drop the ball, Monty Python.
So Duck Soup is.
I think overall, Duck Soup is. Go ahead. I think overall, Duck Soup is probably like the most solid, but I think there's funnier moments.
Yeah.
Like more like bust a gut laughing moments in the other Marx Brothers.
I don't know. There's a couple in this movie that really got me this time around.
The mirror is good.
The mirror is fine. Yeah.
I had to say the shtick with the lemonade guy is not as good as I remember it. I think that was stupid.
Let me tell you what got me this time around. They set it up wonderfully throughout the whole thing where Harpo's cutting stuff with his scissors.
Yeah.
The scene where he leaves the room and then Zeppo comes in missing half of his hat. I had to pause the movie. I was laughing so hard this time. I forgot about that joke.
Yeah,
the two moments for me were both at the end. So when he's just constantly changing war outfits.
Changing war outfits. That's so good. I forgot about that.
I thought that was so funny.
That's like a really ahead of its time type of joke.
Calling all nations. This is Rufus T. Firefly coming to you through the courtesy of the enemy. We're in a mess, folks. We're in a mess. Rush to Fredonia. 3 men and 1 woman are trapped in the building. Send help at once. If you can't send help, send 2 more women. Make it 3 more women.
Yeah, but that's using the medium.
Yeah.
You mean that's cutting back and forth? That's using the medium.
And they just get more ridiculous, like the huge hats. And,
I also the part that I remember laughing the most at and I still laugh at it, but as a kid I laughed at it more is when they paint his face on the front.
Oh right, yeah.
I think that's so funny. I think it's so funny.
So one of the other joke was, which I thought was the perfect like chef's kiss for the Groucho character, was when what was the last line? Hold on, I wrote it down. At the very end, the bad guy who I thought was the funnier of the straight characters, this
Trentino,
rich guy. They catch him and they win the war or whatever.
Game set.
Call me an upstart, will ya? Like it's a callback to something that he's held a grudge the entire movie.
They call back to it more than once too.
It's so good.
And I love how they're throwing the fruit at him, and she starts singing. They're like, and they ended on that.
What was he? I like how he gets Trentino to say, he goads him into saying the word more than once, as if he's planning on it. It's really funny to me.
What's funny is how much he abuses her. She took a beating through all. She's in almost every one of the Marx Brothers.
He doesn't
movies.
seem to like her very much.
Well, it's the whole bit.
I know.
It's the whole.
I know.
Bit. What was her name?
In this movie, it was. Oh, you mean the actress?
The actress.
I never knew her name.
Well, you know what? She's very important.
She's talky McProper. She has a very proper way of speaking.
So the start of the movie.
Margaret Dumont.
There you go.
Margaret Dumont.
Yeah.
Sorry.
The scene with her and Rufus T. Firefly Groucho at the start, where my favorite part of the exchange.
The future of Fredonia rests on you. Promise me you'll follow in the footsteps of my husband.
How do you like that? I haven't been on the job 5 minutes and already she's making advances to me. Not that I care, but where is your husband?
Why, he's dead.
I'll bet he's just using that as an excuse.
I was with him till the very end.
No wonder he passed away.
I held him in my arms and kissed him.
Oh, I see. Then it was murder. Will you marry me? Did he leave you any money? Answer the second question first.
He left me his entire fortune.
Is that so? Can't you see what I'm trying to tell you? I love you.
That whole sequence was so good.
I do. It's murder.
Yeah. And that was like the start of the movie. And that actually came right after they have this big like song and dance pageantry number, and then he doesn't show up. And they're all just standing there.
The fire pole where he comes down got me.
Yeah, fire pole, yeah.
Fire poles are always funny. Write that in your comedy outline for school. Fire poles equal funny.
So do all of the Marx Brothers movies, do they kind of do that? I keep comparing it to the Chaplin movies just because I just recently watched them and it was similar time frame, but they all kind of had like a location and a general, like it's at the circus or it's about
You find a location and then you put Groucho in charge of it.
Night at Casablanca. like
what, in Horse Feathers he becomes the head of a college.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's pretty much the basic outline. Yeah.
Rufus G. I'll put a Rufus over your house. There's so many puns, so many bad puns. I think it's where I got my.
There's a lot of dad joke type stuff.
Thanks.
In here.
Yeah.
Well, in those days, Dad was a kid, so they were just jokes.
That's where my uncle lived, Dollars, Texas.
See what I did there?
Oh,
I love this one, but I don't know if it's my favorite. I thought it was, but I think I can't love. I love them all except for room service.
Yeah.
Room service, no.
I didn't care for coconuts either.
Animal Crackers was good.
Yes, it was.
The big one that I think people also reference is the opera one.
Night at the Opera.
Night at the Opera. Mm-hmm. She's in that one. Mark, anything?
I happen to really like Horse Feathers.
Go West is not bad.
Yeah,
At the Circus is actually pretty funny. The Big Store's okay. The Italian Family in that one's pretty good. She's in that one.
Yeah. Isn't it sad that I learned half of my Italian culture from these guys?
the grapes. But I wish, so, oh my God, they're so good. Yeah, so the Go West one, they interact with the Native Americans. And
That one I don't remember so well.
And Chico's going to talk to the chief. He goes, "You speak Indian?" He goes, "Yeah, I was born in Indianapolis."
It's such a non-joke. I love it.
It's so stupid. But my favorite is like you clearly have this woman who's not an Indian, this beautiful actress that Groucho goes up to and goes, "We'll get in a canoe later and I'll pal you."
I wonder if those jokes were kind of seen the way we see them now. Like, were they partially groan-inducing then?
So one of my other favorite moments, and at this point for this whole episode, it may just end up being audio clips if you're listening to it and video of the actual scenes. But was the he's not invited to Mrs. Teasdale's tea party.
Oh yeah.
Take a letter. You are cordially invited to my tea party. Signed, Mrs. Teasdale. Call her and tell her I accept.
Well, the thing is, we learned that he was invited, so I guess it didn't matter. Also, Harpo being the driver.
The joke was funny.
Harpo being the driver was another good bit, where he keeps taking off without him.
I'm in a hurry. To the House of Representatives. Ride like fury. If you run out of gas, get Ethel. If Ethel runs out, get Mabel. Now step on her.
So who's your favorite?
Who's my favorite, or who's?
Yeah, well, who's your favorite Marx Brothers?
I don't know. That's a really tough one. I think that Groucho is the best at carrying a scene on his own.
Yeah.
I think that would make him the most accomplished of the brothers. Gosh.
I think Harpo has the not to dismiss the difficulty of writing these types of jokes and the density of it, but I do think what Harpo is trying to do with the physical comedy stuff, and I don't know how many times they had to do some of these takes of like the hat spiraling around and then he snips.
Very well choreographed,
there's a lot of like kind of coordination with it, but I think Groucho's my favorite.
I found one audio clip. Maybe I'll send it to you and we'll play it of what Harpo sounds like.
I never heard that.
But this is the audio clip that it sounds like.
I wonder if we'll be able to hear it.
One night I'm playing, and I felt sick, and I practically keeled off the stool. And she says, "Get that son of a bitch back on that stool, play." There was a couple of customers there. So again, I fell off the stool. She says, "What the hell is the matter with him?" to one of the girls. And she said, "Well, he must be sick." So they sent for a doctor, and he looked at me, the doctor, and he said, he's got the measles. She says, "Get him the hell out of here. I don't want any sick Jews around me."
The voice of Harpo Marx.
There you go. There it was. I'll find it for you and send it to you, man.
I would say...
No. I'm saying you're going to add it in post.
Right.
Oh, okay.
As far as which ones I like the best, I can only really comment on pairings. And I would say that the Groucho-Chico pairing is good for me. Like the scene in Horse Feathers where Groucho's trying to get into the secret club and Chico's asking him for the password. That was a very good scene. If you recall, Ben.
The one in Go West is... Which one? Maybe at the circus. I don't know. There's both of them involved.
It's the scene where the password is swordfish.
Yeah, but the one with the train was so funny.
I think you and I watched that together a few years ago.
He takes his money.
Yeah, that was where they kept doing like the short changing thing.
Yeah, it was so funny. And then oh man, I know you don't like Night at Casablanca, but that one is actually pretty funny.
Maybe I'll give it another shot.
I think that one's Harpo and Chico's strongest one.
You think so?
Yeah, because they both play the instruments in it. Chico plays it.
I don't care about the instruments.
Chico playing the piano is hilarious.
Yes, it is. Only when he does it with the orange, though.
Orange.
No, I think they're pretty strong in Duck Soup. I mean, the scene where they're spies for Trentino, that was a very good scene.
Yeah, but that is good. The scene with I think they got it down. You know, their two characters together in Night at Casablanca. He's trying to tell him that so and so is bad, and it's a girl named Beatrice, and he goes, A B. Like he keeps doing it in covers. A B. He goes twist, B, twist, B, twist, B, twist. Like little things like that. Like they really got that one down. So
Yeah.
But yeah, guess you had to be there.
I mean, there's something about Duck Soup that I don't know if so, because part of me thinks that it's watching it all the way through. I just felt like, this is just straight comedy, and then by the end, they like really try to pull together all this war stuff. And I'm curious how you guys feel about this, because I don't know if I agree. So some film critics are comparing Duck Soup specifically to like Charlie Chaplin's The Great Dictator and something like Doctor Strangelove, where it has like this satirical war, like
they do
war
have
element
it, yeah.
to it.
They do.
You guys think so?
Yeah, because I watched it, especially now as an adult. Some of the even the government crap, raise the taxes on this and that. All these little things that they add in, that they're just it's a satire making fun of how stupid the government, how bad of a leader he is. Even the song has it.
They do the satire thing, but I don't think they particularly prod in any one direction. It's very broad in its scope.
It's not. It's like yoking at it. It's not trying to be overly smart.
Yeah, I don't think they were trying to make a huge point. They were just going for a gag.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it. I tend to agree with both of you on it. I think there is some elements, especially with just who is in charge and who they choose to be in charge, and then it's just a farce that they would also be in charge. But that's kind of what they're saying, is like it's all just kind of a joke of who's making the decisions, and
right.
It's aimless and silly. But and that there's something to it. But the comedy, just the jokes and the like, at any one point they're trying to maximize the funniest thing they could do in any, or they're setting up via like 2 or 3 parts of a script to like pay it off with a like perfect wordplay, that kind of pulls it all together.
To your point, this is one of those movies where watching it, I can't. It flows so well that I can't imagine it being any other way. Mm-hmm. So I don't really have criticism on pacing or timing. They did it.
I mean,
and you forget how early a film it is.
Yeah, the talkie's only been around for a few years.
Yeah, 1933. The stuff
the Coconut was 1929, and that's interesting.
Yeah.
So was that their first one?
That was their first movie.
The Coconut, then Animal Crackers, 1930.
Okay.
And then Duck Soup.
Their first movie came out just 2 years after the first talking movie.
Yeah.
So.
Well.
The lemonade stand stuff, I feel like, was like not integrated into the bigger story, but it was funny, and they paid it off later. So I can't. I know, Ben, you didn't like it. I thought it was kind of funny. So.
Well, I mean, I think it's a kid's thing. I think I didn't like the guy would have just murdered them. You mean like that's what I didn't like about it. Like
stand up for yourself.
But they tie it back in so well later in the Paul Revere scene where Harpo comes out of the guy's bathtub.
Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna list the films in order. I have the order here. So 1929 there was Coconuts. Excuse me. Animal Crackers was 1930. That was their vaudeville stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Monkey Business was 1931.
I like that one.
Those are still vaudeville. Horse Feathers, I believe, is vaudeville too.
Love that one.
1932. Man, they pumped him out. And then Duck Soup was 1933.
Mm-hmm.
A Night at the Opera, which is pretty good, 1935. A Day at the Races is 1937. Room Service is a piece of crap and waste of time, 1938.
0 out of 10. Wouldn't watch.
At the Circus, 1939. Go West, 1940. The Big Store, 1941.
We're at 11.
I think this is their last. I think Night at Casablanca is their last one. No, 1946. And then Love Happy. I've never seen that one.
Is that like their Mel Brooks silent movie that no one's seen?
It's 1949, and I guess there's one that no one has seen.
Mm-hmm.
Like just one in the archives?
Yeah, that they tried to produce on their own, but no one's seen it. No one has it. But Love Happy,
Scientology
I've
movie.
never seen Love Happy. I've seen every Marx Brothers movie except for Love Happy. I've never seen that one.
Does that make it 13 movies or?
Let me count them again.
I mean, the thing
1,
the thing
2,
about
3, 4.
about some of these earlier ones is, I mean, the runtime is shorter.
That was
but
generally of the time.
They didn't skimp. I mean, they
13.
used they did some big numbers, so it wasn't like, oh, you just pump it out or whatever. I mean, some of these scenes would have taken a while to get down, I think.
Yeah.
So here's an interesting fact about Night at Casablanca. Night in Casablanca.
It wasn't actually shot at night.
No, it wasn't. But the Warner Brothers, and this was not a Warner Brothers film, was threatened to sue them for making a film about Casablanca, because Warner Brothers made Casablanca. And Groucho countersued, threatened to sue Warner Brothers for having the name Warner Brothers because they were brothers long before they were.
It's funny when his comedy leaks into his life.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the kind of joke that pays off.
Cornblow. That was his name. In that.
Oh, that's right.
They come up with the best names for him. Rufus Firefly, Cornblow,
Otis B. Driftwood.
Driftwood. That's a good one. What's another? There's another one that's real funny. I forget what it was.
I like the Driftwood one.
Dr. Hackenbush.
Yeah.
That one's a good one. That was at the circus or Day of the Races, right?
What was his name in Animal Crackers?
Let me pull it up, baby. Let me pull it up.
Which is funny because in all of Rob Zombie's movies, he names like his main characters after Groucho names. Did nobody notice that? Or has nobody seen any Rob Zombie movies? I can't believe
I don't think I've ever seen a Rob Zombie movie. I've never seen a Rob Zombie movie.
Some of them are worth a watch.
Jeffrey T. Spaulding.
There we
Jeffrey
go.
T. Spaulding. That's right.
That's his most normal one.
Yeah.
I thought that one was good.
You saw Animal Crackers? You watched Animal Crackers?
Me?
Matt?
No. I haven't. No, I've only seen Duck Soup. This is the second time I've seen it, and I want to say the first time was like soon after I met you. And you told me to see it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Watch Animal Crackers next.
You know, it's funny. I remember you made that course for me to practice on with Harpo on it. That's fine. I never knew.
Oh, right. Yeah.
You watch the other ones, man. You got to watch the other one, except for Room Service. You don't have to watch.
At least watch Horse Feathers and Animal Crackers, I would say.
Watch them all.
I need them to be available somewhere. That's what I need.
I have the.
If only there was a amazing free streaming service that could support such a request.
Do they have one?
You wouldn't happen to have a name of one, would you?
Is it on HBO?
No.
No, I have to pay for that like a fool.
Is it on Hulu? No.
I got to pay for that too.
Netflix? No.
No.
Is it Tubi?
Tubi has it? Tubi has it? Oh.
I'm hoping it does. This is our just horrible plug for Tubi.
I do have some of them. I have like a bunch of the collection, but I don't have like the early collection.
Okay.
I think we have a bunch of them at my dad's house too.
Yeah, I have like the Go West, Casablanca, all that stuff. Big store.
We had Animal Crackers, Horse Feathers, and Duck Soup, all that.
But I could probably find ways to get them all.
Yeah, there are ways.
There are ways.
All right, let's. We only got a couple of minutes.
You think you can rate the movie in 2 minutes 26?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
Who wants to go first?
Okay, I'll go first. I give this movie an 8 out of 10. It is very, 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 very good. I can't really think of any criticism for it, but I don't know why I'm reluctant to give it a 9. Maybe I could. You know what? Just go ahead and put me down for a 9. I convinced myself.
Talked yourself into it.
Yeah.
Ben, what about you?
Give it an 8 out of 10. I love this
Whoa.
movie. Yeah, I love it, but I think for some reason the stupid lemonade guy just threw me off this time. I think that thing didn't work for me. Like it really made
he
me
didn't
mad.
shoot them on the spot. 0 out of 10.
He didn't
0
smack
to 10.
him because you know why? Because I'm so used to Three Stooges of them getting beat up. I think that was missing. He's like he just gave up and they're still standing there.
Need to do like a
Three Stooges would be
celebrity
like,
death match.
Three Stooges would be running away like hell, like oh get out of here, because they beat up.
I feel
Harpo
like
does
you
have plot armor.
you need to bring back celebrity death match for the Three Stooges and the Marx Brothers.
Mo would murder them.
I went between 8 and 9 personally. I could go either way, I guess. I ultimately ended with a 9 just because given the year it came out and the humor, like in between 2 wars and stuff, I felt like there's some, just given the subject matter, there was some the silliness at the very end kind of pushed it over the top for me, and I loved the changing of the outfits. So I'll give it a 9.
Cool.
I have no idea what movie we're doing next time. Well, you'll just have to follow our social media to see what we choose.
Yeah, hit that follow button, hit that like button, and subscribe, and also go on over to Tubi and see what they've got.
Maybe we'll just pull something off Tubi.
Sponsor us, Tubi.
The very first thing.
Tubi, baby, Tubi.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching.
Bye-bye.
Good night and good luck.
Wait. There.